45 days. It has been that long, Philippines. 45 days since the students, alumni, and the fans have been wanting and waiting to come back to this historic mecca of sports and entertainment. It has been 45 days since Ateneo and LaSalle treated us to a thriller, which was almost 2 years in the making. 45 days since the guys in green have been waiting to get back at their arch rivals. 45 days since the boys in blue have been wanting to prove that, controversy aside, their win was no fluke. So after 45 days, we all troop back to this venue, the Araneta Coliseum, for the big ticket. Round number 2 for the battle for number 2. A sea of green, an ocean of blue, here at the Big Dome for the main event of your Sunday showdown, folks. Live over Studio 23. It is round number 2 for Ateneo versus LaSalle. Happy to have you with us on a Sunday showdown. Ateneo LaSalle, round 2, the starting 5 on your screens. Both teams armed with a 4-game winning streak. A lot of experts saying both teams peaking at the right time. It's funny, the turn of events for these two teams after that whole Ateneo LaSalle first round match. Coach Fran Pumaran losing 2 straight. Right. Coach Norman Black experiencing his first 3-game losing streak.
After that big victory, they lost 3 in a row, but they've turned things around now. 4 straight victories actually for both teams. They lost their first game in the second round, LaSalle to UST and Ateneo to UE, but 4 straight wins for both teams. Very surprising here, Boom. The starting lineup of Coach Franz Pumaran, starting with Ilad and Kishko.
Yes.
So no Rico Maierhofer, and I believe he's doing this because of the tendency of Rico to go into early foul trouble.
And no PJ Walsham either. And that looks like a move which was characterized by nerves. And regardless of it's whether your first or second game mark, nerves will get to you. It still gets to us.
Especially in the first few seconds of this ball game.
Exactly.
I mean, you cannot possibly prepare for this kind of atmosphere that we're seeing right now.
Jai Reyes, the top man, the high point man in their first encounter against James Mangas. Ford Arrow, who has established himself as a legitimate post player for Ateneo. Sending it out, Kurt Long, the new hero for Ateneo. From practically the same spot, he rims out that long shot.
Well, for Ateneo, instead of the usual starter at small forward in Zion Latel, they are going with Kurt Long today.
JV Casio, the high point man for De La Salle in round number 1. Missing his first attempt as Chris Tiu draws first blood via the bank.
Well done, pick and roll play that time for Chris Tiu and Ford Arrow, leading to the first 2 points of the game.
We'll go downstairs. Mangas with a wonderful move, came up short. Rebounding will be key for both teams.
That was a good play. You have to attack Chris Tiu if he will defend against Mangas. Good call by Coach Franz Pumaran.
Chris Tiu looking very aggressive. And an offensive foul. Let's look at and check, because we can't hear a whistle here in the Big Dome right now. It was a traveling infraction.
3 seconds.
3 seconds. 3-second infraction, a turnover, the first one. And Ateneo's got to watch their turnovers, Mark.
Especially the turnovers that lead to fast break situations. They should limit the steals that LaSalle will get in this game, because this LaSalle team is very quick in taking advantage of turnovers.
They average close to 18 turnovers a game, talking about Ateneo, while LaSalle 15 as Chris Tiu comes up short. Brian Elad hauls down the rebound. 7:45 remaining in this first quarter. Round number 2 between Ateneo and LaSalle. Casio from 15, off the mark. Couple of misses now. The silent assassin of De La Salle University, who scored 50 fourth quarter points in round number 1. Nonoy Baclao, who's really come on for Coach Norman Black, especially in the second round. Tiu gets it to go!
This is the kind of start we want Chris Tiu to have. If you're an Ateneo fan, 5 points in the game, all 5 points so far scored in the ball game coming from Chris Tiu.
2 out of 5 as LaSalle is now 0 out of 5 before that foul. 3 out of 6 rather for Ateneo, and 0 out of 5 for Salle. And speaking of the Green Archers, let's go to Sharon Yu. Sharon?
You know, if anyone were in the dugout earlier, they definitely noticed the atmosphere full of fighting spirit. The Archers sat down attentively when Coach Franz reminded them of significant pointers from their last match with the Eagles. The Green Archer press can be deadly, so the boys need to provide premium defense. They are expected never to give easy points for the blue team and move when the ball is in transit. Offensively, Coach wants them to push the ball because he believes in the speed of his boys. Simply execute the plays properly and adjust well when necessary. Indeed, it's been 45 long days waiting, but it's worth it.
Thank you very much, Sharon Yu, reporting for De La Salle University. 45 days seems so long.
It's a long time
If you're a UAAP fan, you look at the bench, and they will be a crucial part of this game. Both teams averaging closely together in terms of bench points. 33 for La Salle, 32 for Ateneo.
If you look at the makeup of these two teams, they are very, very evenly matched practically at all positions. And this guy, as you mentioned, Boom, has improved tremendously. He will be a very big factor in today's ballgame. Nonoy Baclao, who I believe is the best Ateneo matchup that they can have against Rico Maierhofer.
Excellent point. Nonoy Baclao, as we mentioned, has really come on here in the second round. Casio will try again. He is short. 3 attempts for JB Casio as Kishko wild on that rebound play. 7-1, 6-35. And that will force the hand of Coach Franz Kumarin to bring in Rico Maierhofer in the next dead ball situation. Jai Reyes in trouble. 12 on their 24, and D.Y. Tang commits a personal foul. Send it down to Vanillim for the other side, the Ateneo side. Vanna?
According to Coach Norman, the keys to the game today, aside from defense, are spacing and ball movement. Communicate on the court, know when to pass, and do not hog that basketball. If you think that first time was a fluke, it wasn't. And the boys are coming out hard to show La Salle that they're in trouble today. All yours, Boom and Mark.
Much, Vanna. So far, yes, in our Samsung courtside update with Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine La Salle in a little bit of trouble as Rico Maierhofer now comes in against Nonoy Baclao.
You know, the key word in that report of Vanna is that she mentioned about spacing. That is very important for Ateneo to provide the proper spacing so that Fort Arrow can operate inside.
Rico tips it up and in. Instant impact for Rico Maierhofer at the 6-minute mark of this first quarter.
That's what you lose without Rico Maierhofer. The athleticism at the 4 spot, very important for this La Salle team.
Pass picked off, and Maierhofer hauls down the loose ball. D.Y. Tang looking at his options. Why not JB Casio? Pulls the trigger, and Casio is 0 out of 4 from the field.
This is so similar to the way Casio started that first round game when he couldn't hit the basket first 3 quarters, but he exploded in the fourth for 17 points.
Jai Reyes slows things down. The cutting Chris Tiu invites the contact and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Casio, let me check that, is 0 out of 5 from the field. And we all need this timeout at the 5:23 mark. It's brought to us by Samsung. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine. We'll be back in a moment. Our Samsung matchup featuring Jai Reyes and JB Casio. We mentioned that they were the high point men in round number 1.
What great games for these two small men in that first round matchup. 21 for Casio, most of them in the fourth, and Jai Reyes with 18 points in that ball game.
Rico Peralejo on hand. She is the muse, one of the muses of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. The new student there, a freshman for the Blue Eagles. 5:20, and Chris Tiu makes it 8-3. Approaching the 5-minute mark. Great escape job by Maierhofer. Just could not finish. Baclao tips it. And it is Maierhofer tracking it down, and a foul on Chris Tiu to his dismay.
So this time, Chris Tiu will be called for the foul, even though he was the one who fell on the floor.
5:06, 8-3. Let's look at some indicators here. Ateneo are 5-0 when they score 75 points or more. DLSU are 6-0 when they reach 78 or more. Ateneo's 4-0 when they reach 47 or more rebounds. While DLSU are 7-1 if they are 46 and better in terms of rebounding.
Well, based on the way that things are going on right now, boom, I don't think this game will reach 75 points.
By the way, 2 personal fouls on Chris Tiu early. So that's huge. 6 points, 2 rebounds for him. Ateneo's 3 out of 6 from the field, while DLSU is 1 out of 12. Miserable shooting, miserable start for De La Salle University.
But they're in the game because
Yes.
they've limited Ateneo to only 8 points, even though they've scored only 3. And a turnover here by Kurt Long.
And they have forced 4 turnovers. That's the 4th. But Baclao reaching high to take that ball away.
What a game so far from Baclao, doing it at both ends of the floor. A very big factor for Ateneo on the defensive end.
Jai Reyes sends that baby home for his first 3 of the ball game. 11-3, 4:20 to play in the first. What a start for the usually slow starting Ateneo de Manila University.
It's usually the opposite. Usually La Salle is the hot starting team, but the JV completely off the mark here. Rico Maierhofer.
JV is trying so hard. Probably too hard, Mark. 0 out of 7 from the field.
Maybe too many shots here for JV. He probably should play a decoy role more here and let the others be involved in the offense.
Baclao sends it out to Kurt Long under 4 minutes to play, and that's a foul from JV, who's getting a little bit frustrated in this game, Mark.
And I think this is a good move by Coach Franz Pumalen. Put in another veteran, Cholo Villanueva. Give JV maybe a few minutes rest. It will not be long, maybe a couple of minutes, and then JV will be sent back in.
There's our cool and clean steal of the game brought to you by C2. That was also the 4th turnover for Ateneo, and that's what La Salle is good at. They force a lot of turnovers, 20 on average, and points off 19 on the average compared to only 12 for Ateneo. So that's really the cup of tea of De La Salle, and you can include in that basket UE Red Warriors.
That's the forcing turnovers and stalling of those turnovers. Eric Salamat taking it slow. He provides Ateneo with a different dimension when Chris Tiu sits down, because Eric Salamat, although he can hit from the outside, loves to penetrate that lane and initiating that contact against PJ Walsh.
That is the kind of game that he has brought to the Blue Eagles, something that they sorely miss, a slasher type of a player. Ateneo shooting 57% so far from the field. DLSU a miserable 8% so far in the first 7 minutes of this game.
Coach Norman Black should be loving the way Ateneo's played defense here in the first quarter. Only 3 points for La Salle, more than 6 minutes gone by in the first.
71% shooter from that area. Eric Salamat drops in 2 for the biggest lead of the ball game, 13-3.
La Salle needs something inside the paint at this stage. Too many outside shots. Maybe try to shut them from maybe Walsham or Rico Maierhofer penetrating to the basket.
Tang gives it up to Maierhofer, puts it up and gets the bounce. Just what the doctor ordered.
He's been the only guy. 2 field goals here in the game for Rico.
Rico takes it away. Scrambles for the loose ball. Gives it up to Ateneo. But Ateneo turns the ball. No. It is La Salle possession on a scramble play. Cholo Villanueva. It is blocked and fouled by Nonoy Baclao.
But this is what La Salle wants. We mentioned the turnovers. 2 turnovers consecutively forced there by De La Salle. But Baclao,
Nonoy Baclao.
he thought it was a good block. But foul called on Nonoy Baclao. So that will send Cholo to the foul line.
Nonoy Baclao, who has upped his average from 3.9 to close to 9 points a ball game in the second round. And going back to that play, 2 blocks a game compared to 0.7 in the first round. As we burn a Samsung timeout, we'll go back to that. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine. Back in a moment. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum, the longest current streak of Final Four appearances, and obviously, regardless of whether there's a Final Four or step ladder format, Ateneo will be part of it. They're trying to get to that number 2 spot. It's still up for grabs.
Actually, Ateneo is not clinched.
Oh, really?
If they lose their next 2 games,
Oh, that's right, because they have 2 more.
there's still a possibility that they will not make the Final Four.
What a sight. What a sight, huh? Arlo Sharma, Paulo Bubia. Sharma, the half-brother.
Mixed feelings probably for Carlo Sharma.
LaSalle alumnus and half-brother studies with Ateneo Rabal.
Ateneo needs to, if they win this game, they formally enter the Final Four, and they will tie LaSalle for number 2.
13-6 is our score. An interesting substitution for Coach Norman Black as Eric Salamat commits this offensive foul. Nonoy Baclao moves out for Yuri Escueta. And while Montfort replaces Jai Reyes.
This is a lineup that I have not seen Ateneo use this season. Montfort and Escueta in the game at the same time.
T.Y. Tang easily breaks the press, puts up a teardrop, does not get the bounce. And again, the ball is up high and it's a foul call on a Blue Eagle.
Good ball, Yuri Escueta reaching in against Cholo Villanueva, so that will send Cholo back to the line.
6 turnovers for Ateneo, that defensive foul. 3 for LaSalle.
That is not a good sign here for Coach Norman Black. They're still on top here by 7 points. But they need to control those turnovers. Ateneo is fortunate at this stage because so far, LaSalle has not scored off the turnovers of Ateneo. But if they continue to commit those turnovers, that will not stay long. LaSalle will sooner or later take advantage of that.
All right, let's listen to Sharon Yu. She has something to say. Sharon?
On why Coach Franz is wearing red, according to him, is because he's promoting the other colors of the product line he's endorsing. What can you say about that, Boo?
May pahiyang. What's your theory, Mark?
I was discussing with you off the air before the game. The color red does not lost the season.
And you're talking about the Red Warriors, which his brother is coaching.
Maybe Coach Franz borrowed the shirt from me.
Who's right behind us, by the way. Salamat gets a free line, and he puts it up and in. Salamat, the slasher for Ateneo, has made his presence felt. Cholo Villanueva attacks and draws the foul. He will go back to the line. And for Eric Salamat, that will be his second personal foul.
I like what Cholo Villanueva is doing here. Not a lot of options inside for LaSalle. Ateneo has plugged in their defense inside, but Cholo Villanueva trying to force the issue, get some easy points, get to the foul line, and he's been successful a couple of times here.
Let's look at this Smart slow-mo. Just by Smart, the power to lead. Team foul situation, Ateneo with 5, LaSalle with 4.
On the other side of the fence, with Montfort and Escueta in the game, these two guys really not a lot of offense, although Montfort can hit from the outside. That's why it's very important for Salamat to create most of the opportunities on the offensive end for Ateneo if Norman Black will be successful with this line.
Cholo Villanueva, right now 4 out of 6 from the free throw line. And Macardona on your screens. And the impact of Cholo Villanueva as he replaced JV Casio is instant, even if it's from the free throw line, Bart.
That's good. That's a great sign for Coach Franz Pomade. In that previous game, in game 1, in round 1, it was Casio who bailed them out. But now with Casio struggling, they're getting in the game, even when JV is on the bench. And another turnover here
And
will
this
lead
time,
to turnover points for the
and a
foul.
3-point play opportunity. 7 turnovers. 1:31 remaining.
And you know, the reason why Coach Norman Black has 2 point guards in the game is probably because he wants to limit the turnovers. But the opposite thing is happening.
Fast break brought to us by Petron XCS. And when LaSalle forces 19 or more turnovers a game, Mark, they are 6-1. That's the kind of game that they want to play.
And Ateneo with 7 or 8 already in the first quarter.
That is their 7th turnover, 5th turnover point. Cholo Villanueva does not complete the 3-point play, but it's good enough to cut the lead down to 4. 15-11, 1:25 remaining in the first quarter. DLSU on an 8-2 run in the last 2 minutes of this ball game.
The major development here in this game is 2 fouls.
Yes.
And Eric Salamat also with 2 fouls. Another turnover.
Oh, and an unsportsmanlike foul.
An unsportsmanlike foul on Eman Montfort. What a lift Cholo Villanueva is giving LaSalle here in the first quarter.
8 turnovers. And this all coming as soon as Cholo Villanueva came into the game, as you mentioned. JV Casio struggling, 0 out of 7. This is a legit steal by Cholo from behind.
Oh yes, very well anticipated.
Cool and clean steal of the game brought to you by C2, and then Montfort in frustration fouls him, and this will mean free throws and ball possession.
Ball possession. Cholo takes this chance for LaSalle here to tie this game up, or maybe even take the lead.
2 personal fouls on Montfort, 2 on Chris Tiu.
No choice here for Coach Norman Black but to put back his starting point guard, Jai Reyes. Montfort with a couple of turnovers. Really, it's so hard for a rookie or a sophomore like Montfort, who didn't play much last year, to excel in this kind of atmosphere
Situation.
immediately. Very hard.
That's right. 15-11. Cholo has been a frequent visitor, and he gets that one to trickle in. 7 points off the bench. All from the free throw line. Coach Franz Pumaran on your screens wearing red today.
You know, Coach Norman Black has an unwritten rule.
Okay.
And we will see if we will follow this in today's ball game. If you commit 2 personal fouls in the first half, you don't play the rest of the half.
Are you serious? Really?
He's done that time and time again. And we will see if we will do that today, because Chris Tiu and Eric Salaman both have 2 personal fouls.
Now it's an 11-4 run mark since Chris Tiu sat down. Just to put things in perspective.
And Chris Tiu 6 points already in this game.
That's right. Climbing up the ladder. Ball is still loose. Frantic play, and LaSalle wins out with 35 seconds remaining in the quarter. Malabes, the dribble, penetration drive, just a foul! And banks it in.
The good start of Ateneo has been completely wiped out here by De La Salle. 10-point lead in the quarter for Ateneo. That's gone now. LaSalle on top by 1 point.
It is a 13-4 run since Chris Tiu sat down, as we see this in our slow-mo brought to you by Smart. The power to lead. Let's look at another angle with 28.3 seconds, inviting the contact and then kissing it off the glass. Bader Malabes to the jubilation of the fans of LaSalle.
Talking about the bench boom, LaSalle's bench completely outplaying Ateneo's bench as of the moment, with Malabes for Cholo Villanueva, and even Simon Atkins on the defensive end being a factor here for the
Excellent
Archers.
point, Mark. We are down to the last 16 seconds on this quarter. Reyes, this is again from 3. LaSalle will go for the last shot. Little fancy for Cholo Villanueva, puts it up, but there Malabes gets the roll! And LaSalle with a 3-point lead as the first quarter winds down.
What a turn of events. After being down 10, now LaSalle on top by 3.
As we end the first quarter of this game, enjoy cool snackables, 35 pesos and below, with KFC's new Wow Sulit Snackables, our Accenture high performance of the quarter in this flurry and the run of LaSalle. Bader Malabes capping off 17 bench points compared to the 4 of Ateneo. They're in the lead by 3, and we will be back with a second quarter from this explosive Araneta Coliseum. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum, and Cholo Villanueva starting off the second quarter mark with a 3-point play opportunity, and it is now an 18-4 run since Chris Tiu sat down for Ateneo.
And since Cholo Villanueva came in this game, 10 points now for Cholo Villanueva.
And he is 6 out of 10 from the free throw line. And the last basket of Ateneo was at 2:15 by the drive by Salaman. In the second quarter, in the first quarter rather, as Rafa Al-Husseini finally produces something for the guys in white and blue.
And LaSalle with a conscious effort here to double team Fort Arrow once he makes that move in the low post. So Fort Arrow still scoreless in this game.
Villanueva is fouled by Kurt Long.
Coach Norman Black very decent here. Rafa Al-Husseini is telling him he should get that defensive rebound.
Napakadali ng pagkakataon ni Cholo to get that rebound. 9-10, 21-17. The biggest lead for Ateneo was at 10, 13, and 3, and that was it. Since then, as Maierhofer denied here by Raba. Yuri draws the foul. Will go to the line. 7 offensive rebounds for De La Salle, none for Ateneo.
That's a big factor. You would think that Ateneo would have a bigger advantage in the offensive glass because of Husseini and Fort Arau inside in the game at the same time, but no offensive rebounds so far for Ateneo.
Yuri Escueta was received more playing time from the coach on the black in the second round. We look at Senator Kiko Pangilinan with daughter Frankie attending the game, star-studded as usual. Senator Dick Gordon as usual. JC and Tal, Jessica Diaz, all part of your Celebrity Sunday showdown here at the Araneta Coliseum. All the stars come out to watch. Villanueva, who's only averaging 9.3 a game, already with 10, as you mentioned earlier.
And another silent contributor here for LaSalle. Not in the scoring department, but his defense and running the team. Simon Askins doing a good job.
Maierhofer misses on the 3. Long with a rebound. Long hurrying. Bumped by Simon Atkins. At the 8:36 mark. 21-18. You're watching us live on Studio 23. Ruth Gonzalez together with Coach Mark Molina. Pleasure to have you with us. Anna Lim reporting for Ateneo. Sharon Yu reporting for De La Salle University. Coach Norman Black, 4-game winning streak. Coach Franz Juanen, the same experience as now Atkins moves out in lieu of JV Casio, who started the game 0 out of 7.
So now Casio will play the point guard position here as he joins Cholo Villanueva in the backcourt.
But that guy will not stop shooting.
Oh yes, very confident shooter in JV Casio.
Fort Arau has not scored in this ball game.
And that happens because of the double teaming LaSalle is doing with Fort Arau. Fort Arau, with the impatience to take a shot, he will not take it inside anymore.
Exactly.
And he will settle for outside shots because he's double teamed quickly every time he puts the ball on the floor.
We have a report from Vanna Lim, so let's go to the Ateneo side. Vanna?
Settle down and get your man was the message after that disappointing first quarter finish. Coach Noah told his boys we won our last 4 games with defense, and defense is what we need if we want to win here today. He told them to stay focused and push the ball every opportunity you have to get those second chance points in. Turn over to you, Boom and Mark.
Thank you very much, Vanna. Our Samson courtside update with Samson. It's not that hard to imagine after an amazing start. Ateneo, LaSalle has blacked his team. Arau draws the foul finally. And we make that point about Fort Arau, Mark, because in the 8 Ateneo wins, Fort Arau averages 15.3 points. In the 4 losses, he is below double digits at 9.
Well, he has been the barometer for Ateneo and also the leading scorer this season. Very consistent scorer here for Ateneo as we look at the slow-mo.
Brought us by Smart, the power to lead. Under 8 minutes to play, 21-18.
But these are the first offensive rebounds in the game for Ateneo, so
Exactly.
very important here. Fort Arau getting a couple of offensive rebounds in that play.
Arau, last 4 games, just to put things in perspective, 17 points in this 4-game winning streak. He has been averaging 15.3 in the wins, but 17 in this last 4 games today. 0, and he misses his first free throw.
And Franz Pumaren, I'm sure knows that. When Fort Arau plays well, Ateneo usually wins. So Franz Pumaren in this ball game, every time Fort gets the ball and he makes a move to the baseline, there is always a quick double team.
Miguel Malaves has also been a spark from the bench at De La Salle University. Kishmo, who started for the Green Archers, back in the fray together with Brian Elad, and a foul by Raba Al-Husseini.
Not a good foul there on Rapa Al-Husseini. Brian Elad. Not really a low post threat here for LaSalle.
Let's go to Sharon Yu for this report from the De La Salle side of things.
Boom, I'm sure everyone noticed Cholo Villanueva's outstanding game. A while ago, the dugout, he was so focused he didn't even talk to anyone there. Meanwhile, the environment in the huddle was so intense, each player was contributing their input on how to play the Eagles. Coach highlighted that there should be no useless fouls. They should outrun the Eagles and sustain their defense like the latter part of the first quarter. Over to you, Boom.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Our Samsung courtside update with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. And just as she mentioned, Cholo Villanueva, she creates another opportunity for the team by drawing another foul. And he is 6 out of 11, or 10 rather, 6 out of 10 from the free throw line.
So with 2 more foul shots here, this will put his total to 12 free throw attempts, and that is just excellent basketball being shown here by the veteran Cholo Villanueva. On his 5th playing year already for La Salle, and T.Y. Tang and Cholo Villanueva could be playing their last Ateneo La Salle game.
That's right. Doing good job. And Cholo knocks down 2 for a 12-point output. For those of you watching us all over the world, because this game is seen live on ANC Global. So for those watching us as we see the proud parents of Coach Franz Pumarin, thank you for watching us all over the world. Got via the TFC channel and ANC Global. Inside to Araw, deep. Job brushes aside the defense and draws a foul. Ateneo's only had 8 attempts from the free throw line. Villanueva by himself with 12.
That speaks about the aggressiveness of Villanueva.
Yuri Escueta.
One-foot comes back for Yuri Escueta at the 7:19 mark as DLSU protects a 4-point lead.
And now a really small lineup for Ateneo with 1-4 and Reyes in the game. So it's, so far, no sign of Chris Tiu and no sign of Eric Salamat entering the game here in the second quarter.
7:19, Zion Later, Chris Tiu, as you mentioned, that rule, Coach Norman Black, commit 2 personal fouls, you don't play all of the first half.
Until the third quarter.
Until the third quarter. Right now they're surviving though, so there's no reason for Coach Norman Black to panic right now.
Exactly.
A turnover by De La Salle. This front line of De La Salle between Kishko and Brian Elan has been tentative. They started the game and it was a poor start for De La Salle. When the bench came in, that's when things really unraveled for Ateneo. Long goes to his left. 6 on the 24. Kurt Long loses it. Another turnover for Ateneo.
That's why, boom, I think it's imperative here for the big men of Ateneo to outplay the big men of La Salle, especially with the lineups we are seeing right now. With Chris Tiu not in the game, Ateneo's big men need to score. And Ateneo needs to put the ball down low to either Joe Nicamacola or Fortune.
And 9 turnovers for Ateneo already. 6 points off turnovers for La Salle. And they're looking to score on this one. Top of the circle, 3! And T.Y. Tang gets it to go. 9 turnover points for De La Salle University.
Big shot here for the confidence of T.Y. Tang. He did not have a good Ateneo La Salle first round.
Yes.
And so far, he makes his first 3-pointer and 4 down out of the make the basket.
26-23, coming up the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Villanueva, 16-footer is short. And the lone rebounder was by Reyes. Reyes goes to his right. Tries to set up 1 foot. And a Rico play for Ateneo as Reyes picks it up and wins out that shot. T.Y. Tang accelerates. A handoff. Kishko. A 3-second infraction would negate that wonderful play from De La Salle.
You can't fault J.V. Casio for making that extra pass. Kishko wide open for the player.
And we burn a Samsung timeout with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. We will be back there watching the UAAP on Studio 23. Back here at the Aveneta Coliseum, this is the big ticket, folks. Round number 2 for Ateneo and La Salle. Second personal foul called on Kishko, the rebounding scramble, which will send Job Nicamacola to the line.
Now we're beginning to see a little bit more offensive rebounding muscle here in the part of Ateneo. That's why Coach Franz Pumarin quickly responding here by sending in his best rebounder and best big man in Rico Maierhofer.
That's Coach Franz Pumarin. 12 Final Fours prior to 2006. What a record. these two teams speak of consistency in the last 5-6 years, 7 maybe even.
Ateneo has made it, what, 7 straight times since 1999. LaSalle has made every single Final Four since the concept was started. Because we should not count it against LaSalle last year, since they did not play in this tournament. So as far as I'm concerned, the Final Four streak of LaSalle is still alive.
It's still very much alive. Great move by Rico Maierhofer earlier as Kurt Long nails a long 2. Little more sanity in this game right now, as both teams are answering the call. 28-27, LaSalle ahead with 4:30 to play. Casio, his 8th attempt, 0 out of 8 in this game.
That is a shot that he normally takes. That was a wide open look from JV Casio.
What a sour stroke he's got today, at least so far. Long uses the roadblock, attacks. He tries to set up Evan Mournford for the 3. That's short. And Rico Maierhofer secures that one. Labes for the 3 off the mark. Offensive rebound by Ila. Goes to the other side. And that breaks a 6-0 run by Ateneo.
That is something Brian Ila can do, and he was doing that all summer long for De La Salle. He is a guy who can score in the low post, and he has a nice compliment to Rico Maierhofer.
That's trying to argue the second personal foul on JV Casio.
That will send the Atenean to the foul line, since La Salle is now over the limit.
And I believe that is Kurt Long.
Warning on the bench of the De La Salle Green Archers.
Issue to the bench of LaSalle. 30-27 is our score.
JV will sit down with 2 personal fouls.
So him and Chris Tiu, the big names, with 2 personal fouls. But the story is Chris Tiu with quick 6 points. JV Casio 0 out of 8 in the field.
Chris Tiu made those points in the first 3 or 4 minutes of this ball game.
He started off scoring festivities.
But we have not seen him back because of foul trouble. Some color here
between Rico and Ano. And even in game number 1, in the first encounter, round 1, it was a little one. But this is a useless foul if you're LaSalle, Mark, because you're just giving Ateneo opportunities to stay within slipstream, if not tie the game, as Ferdinand has now entered the fray.
So Coach Franz Pomalen now digging deeper into his bench, sending in another big man here in Ferdinand.
Ford Otto gets that one to trickle in. He is a 67% shooter from that area. This game has slowed down here in the second quarter after a frantic start, which is expected between Ateneo and LaSalle.
We saw the Ateneo start. Ateneo run to open the game, and then LaSalle countering with its own run to grab the lead from Ateneo, but now it's been back and forth between these 2 guys.
What a move by Rico Maierhofer to break the first deadlock of the game, and it's again a lead for DLSU 32-30. Fearless move by the native of Puerto Galera. And he takes the ball away and forces a turnover for Ateneo.
If you look at the front line of Ateneo now with Araw and Job Negomacolam, none of these 2 guys can match up against Rico Maierhofer if he penetrates from the outside. And maybe I would think that Norman Black could counter here by maybe sending in Baclao back in the game.
Which we haven't seen, or whom we haven't seen in a while. Tang, they rotated to Bader from the corner. Gets it to go!
Ateneo playing zone defense. Bader Malabes hits them with the big 3 from the corner.
How about 12 points off 10 turnovers, Mark? Job almost draws the foul on that one. But 12 turnover points on 10 turnovers for Ateneo.
That is huge. When Ateneo plays that zone, that corner is the easiest spot to attack for LaSalle. Because Job Negomacolam is the one running out. You will see here, Negomacolam trying to run out on Malabes. He will be late. Job will not get there in time to challenge Badil Malabon.
That was our KFC assist delivery of the quarter, brought to you by KFC. Dial 887-8888. We have a Samsung timeout with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. We'll be back in a moment. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum for more of round number 2 of Ateneo versus La Salle. As of 5 p.m., we are packed to the rafters. More than 13,000 paying patrons. Now, paying patrons yun.
So we're not included in those 13,000.
And the people who are, you know, are in every single corner.
Easily maybe another 1,000 or 2.
Exactly. As Rico Maierhofer has really come on for De La Salle. 12 points for Rico off the bench, 4 rebounds, and giving him a 5-point lead, 37-32. And he is also working hard on defense.
Ferdinand was able to tap that ball away, and seemingly it hit Ford Arau on the way out, so La Salle will get possession here. Salamat, incidentally, back in the game here for Ateneo.
Crucial number here is the 10 turnovers of Ateneo. La Salle has limited themselves to 7, and the other one, as you mentioned earlier, 31 bench points already. They are averaging 33, and they already have 31. 13 only for Ateneo. That's an amazing number.
That is amazing. 31 out of the 37 La Salle points coming off the bench. Well, partly because Rico did not start this game.
That's true, that's true. And that's
JV is scoreless.
And that's where the adjustment has been made as Rico and Ford Arau continue to go at it. That's all part of it. That's all part of the color. Blue and green.
They need to control their emotions here. Ford Arau and Rico Maierhofer. These two guys are probably the most important players for their teams as far as the front court is concerned.
Ford Arau today 1 out of 5 from the field. Ateneo possession with us coming into the 2-minute mark of this first half. Jai Reyes draws the foul from Rico Maierhofer.
These are the things that Rico should avoid.
Foul number 10, Rico Maierhofer.
He gets a lot of these useless fouls that send them onto the bench because of foul trouble.
And that was a fishing expedition by Jai Reyes. You know, that move reminds me so much of John Stockton, trying to get the foul off the pick and roll.
That's true, that's true.
2 free throws for Jai Reyes.
Jai will go to the line. The big man, the high point man in their first encounter. Today, Jai Reyes, 4 points. Which Chot Reyes on your screen. Salle Tenorio was there.
Of course, Coach Chot Reyes, the uncle of Jai Reyes.
That's right. Jai misses on the second, and it will be La Salle ball with 1:59 to play in what has been a fiercely contested first half. Rico accelerating, flying, and putting it down.
No chance. Joe McCollum will not have a chance defending against Rico Maierhofer from the perimeter.
Jai setting up Job. Job creating space for himself, puts it up. Nothing there. He tries to get it back, and Rico takes it away. It will be La Salle ball.
That's a good call. Last touch there on the part of Nico McCollum. Coach Norman Black making the adjustment here with Zion Latel coming in the game. And now it will be Zion who will defend against Rico Maierhofer. And I believe this is a better matchup.
As we mentioned, that's just the paying patrons. That's not all the other people squeezed into the litless corners of this historic Big Dome. D.Y. Tang gets away his favorite shot, but he doesn't knock it down. Maierhofer loses it. And a little second motion after the call. They really didn't hear probably the whistle.
And that's the reason why we're seeing some second motion here. Very hard to hear the referee's whistle at this point.
Rico Maierhofer, 6 rebounds, 3 and 3. Draws the first personal on Zion Later. 14 points, 7 out of 9 from the field. What a game here in the first half.
Rico is making his mark here for Salle. He has been the difference so far in this ball game. For Davao, not a lot of opportunities to score so far for Ateneo, but Rico Maierhofer with 7 field goals already.
With 1:19 remaining, Rico misses the first. You're watching us live on Studio 23. Replays again on Sky Cable 61 on game nights, 8 p.m. till 12 midnight. It is a pleasure to have you. ABS-CBN Sports, bringing you the live, exclusive, and continuing coverage of the 70th season of the UAAP.
Ateneo playing practically most of this first half without Chris Tiu and without Nonay Baclao, who both have 2 personal fouls.
And they survived for a bit, but now they are down 7 as Eric Salamat makes his re-entry, and he will be up against Cholo Villanueva. Salamat gets away, drives hard, puts it up and in! And that's where his value comes from, Mark.
That was a big play. Ateneo in danger of maybe heading into halftime with a double-digit deficit, but Salamat puts an end to this De La Salle run with that kamikaze drive to the basket.
2 out of 2 from the field for Eric Salamat. 6 points, 10 team fouls for DLSU in the second quarter, and that's why Ateneo is still hanging around in this game. Down under a minute in this first half. But there, thought about it. Drives hard on Eman. Forces the shot, Ferdinand. Before the Ferdinand rebound was already a foul.
Foul of the rebound play on Jai Reyes. That will send T.Y. Tang to the foul line.
That's, well, Ateneo enters penalty.
Defensive substitution here by Coach Franz Kumanen, as we will see the first appearance here of Lejan Lee. He will check in for Cholo.
Cholo, what a game for Cholo Villanueva.
But T.Y. Tang with only 1 field goal so far. J.B. Casio scoreless in the game. But Cholo Villanueva and Rico Maierhofer has carried the cudgels here for De La Salle in the first half.
12 points for Cholo, only averaging 9.3. Region Lee, PJ Walsham on your screen. 45 seconds remaining. PJ did not start for De La Salle. It was Elad and Kisco as the bigs for Coach Franz Kumanen. And now the lead back up to 6. 42-36. 40 seconds remaining in this first half.
And Lee's main mission here is to try and slow down Eric Salamat.
Salamat gets away and then forces this one and draws the foul. The need from Region Lee. Grabe tapak din ito si Erica.
And then also, he attacked because he saw that Region Lee just came up hold of the bench, and the tendency is,
That's true.
you will be too aggressive on the defensive end, and that happened that time for Region Lee. Good fishing expedition by Eric Salamat.
So free throws have been the story for Ateneo. 31 seconds remaining.
First quarter, La Salle took the bulk of the free throws in this game, but
Courtesy of Cholo.
that has changed here in the second quarter, with Ateneo taking a lot more free throws compared to the Green Archers.
That's what has kept them in this ball game. 13 out of 17 in the second quarter for Ateneo. 6 out of 7 for La Salle. That's what has kept them within slipstream of DLSU. And Salamat has made a living. 9 points. 5 coming in the second quarter.
Salamat will now sit down since he has 2 fouls, and Ateneo is on the defensive end.
Couple of plays barring any hitch here in this first half at the big dome between Ateneo and La Salle. And it is a 4-point spread for the guys in green. 9 on their 24. T.Y. Tang uses the roadblock, gets into enemy territory. Ferdinand puts it in. What a setup job by T.Y. Tang.
4 seconds left in the half. Jai Reyes needs to hurry.
Montfort loses control, he puts it up, no.
T.Y. Tang coming alive here at the end of the second quarter with some baskets and a key assist to Ferdinand.
And as we end the second quarter of this game, enjoy tasty snackables, 35 pesos and below, with KFC's new Wow Sulit Snackables. Our high performance, Accenture high performance. Yes, Chris Tiu back. Kurt Long, Ford Arao, who missed an earlier attempt, and Nonoy Baclao for Ateneo.
Ateneo starting the same way they did in the first quarter when they had that unbelievable start when they and jumped into a 10-point lead.
JV Casio able to block Chris Tiu's attempt. It is T.Y. Tang, JV Casio, Brian Elad, Bader Malabes, and Rico Maierhofer for the guys in green. A minute gone by. Casio, 0 out of 8 from the field. Tang puts it up and in! And he sends that baby home for an 11-point lead and a biggest lead in the ballgame for De La Salle University.
What a hard three-pointer from T.Y. Tang. Off the screen, catch-and-shoot jumper from T.Y.
And remember, Mark, in game number 1, round number 1, as Kurt Long drives, La Salle only shot 9.5% from beyond the arc at 2 out of 12. And what a start for De La Salle University here in the third quarter.
No choice here for Coach Norman Black. He needs to call a timeout. This lead has now ballooned to 13 points.
Biggest lead of the game, and Ateneo burns a Samsung timeout with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum, Yuri Escueta able to stroke in a three-point shot after the Ateneo timeout to bring it down to 10. Chris Tiu now fouled by Bader Malabes. You know, we mentioned T.Y. Tang, who is 2 out of 3 from beyond the arc. And today, La Salle so far 47% from that area at 18. Sorry, that's 33% from that area as we look at this KFC assist delivery in the quarter brought to you by KFC. Dial 887-8888. That is a weapon that failed them in round number 1. 2 out of 21 for 9.5%.
That's true in today's game. T.Y. has hit a couple already, and Yuri Escueta answering with 2 3-pointers off the bench here.
7 points for Yuri Escueta, who is averaging 28% from beyond the arc. Tang from his favorite spot knocks it down.
These are unexpected points here from Yuri Escueta, but T.Y. Tang with an answer here. 10 points now in the game from T.Y. Tang. He struggled big time in round 1, so
yes.
T.Y. Tang really
aching to get back.
Coming back in a big way here.
Let's go to Vanna Lim right now as a foul is called. Vanna?
Coach Norman said in the huddle that we all have to be here today. We can't have 2, 3, or 4 people missing because we got to play as a team. He told his bigs you have to do a better job of defending inside the paint. And he said everyone has to do a better job with ball handling. These turnovers are really hurting us. He ended by saying, come on, boys, let's have a good second half. Boom and Mark.
Thank you very much. 11 turnovers in the first half for 12 turnover points for La Salle. That's how much it has been.
And leading, boom, a struggle defensively here for Ateneo. After limiting La Salle to 3 points in the first 5 minutes of this game, La Salle has scored 50 points already, and we still have 7 minutes left in the third quarter as we look at Mr. MVP, Manny Pangilinan.
Right beside Gary Leasing also. Always here in attendance for these kinds of ball games. Lead cut down to 7, 53-46. T.Y. Tang, Eric Salamat. Chris Tiu and Bader. And this is the matchup that you were talking about. Baclao against Maierhofer. Bader thought about it. Fakes off Chris Tiu, enters enemy territory and slips and slides.
That is the reason why this guy, Malabes, will be a fantastic player here in the UAAP. Not only is he capable of hitting the outside shot, he can also put the ball on the floor.
Nice hesitation move by Chris Tiu. And Fordano kisses it off the glass. 55-48. Both teams settling down on their offense now. 6:15 to play in the third. Taken away. Eric Salamat, 2-on-2. Salamat trying to maneuver away from T.Y. Tang, and he was held.
A rare turnover here from T.Y. Tang.
His second personal foul. A cool and clean steal of the game brought to you by C2. And Salamat on his way to the other side was fouled. So reset of the shot clock. 6:09 to play in the third.
So a couple of guys here playing big off the bench for Ateneo. Kirk Long and Jai Reyes struggling a bit here. But Salamat and Yuri Escueta has been big for Coach Norman Black.
Guardado has had a miserable day. Salamat rotates it to Yuri. Yuri sends it out. Chris Tiu all day for three. Rims out and rims back in again.
And you credit those three points also to Yuri Escueta, who set up Chris Tiu for that wide open three-pointer.
5:44 to play. 55-51. JV short. JV Casio 0 out of 9. Let's quickly go to Sharon Yu from DLSU. Sharon.
During the halftime boom, Coach Franz couldn't emphasize more to the boys that they should push the ball, push themselves, and not give up, especially through their guarding plays aggressively. Offensively, the boys should always meet the ball. Defensively, they were told to position themselves in a way that they can pressure the Eagles to slice their shot clock. Over to you, Boo.
Thank you very much, Sharon. But Ateneo coming back here. It has been a game of spurts since the get-go. Second personal on Badir.
And now it's Ateneo's turn to make a run, anchored on three-pointers. That's how big the three-point shot will be in determining the outcome of today's ball game.
The great equalizer, as they call it. Yuri gets away, sends it out to Salamat, has Badir on him. Salamat throws up another three, rattles out, and T.Y. Tang high up for the rebound. T.Y. goes to the other side, and then drives through, sets up Elad, puts it up and puts it down.
Nice long finish there from Brian Elad, but again, that shot would not be possible without T.Y. Tang's penetration.
Third personal foul on Nonoy Baclao, and because KFC assist delivery in a quarter, brought to you by KFC. Dial 887-8888. T.Y. Tang with 3 assists in the game. And again, putting a little cold water on this DLSU rally. Make that on the Ateneo rally.
T.Y. is trying to take charge here in the third quarter for LaSalle. He knows that JD is not finding his groove. So he is the guy here who can lead this LaSalle, at least in the offensive end.
57-51. Ateneo has shot 3 out of 5 from beyond the arc, while LaSalle 1 out of 2. This is the kind of crowd that only can be equaled by our Samson UAP cheer dance competition. Mark, that's 3 p.m. on Sunday, September 16. That's next Sunday, right here at the Araneta Coliseum. UST, of course, the defending champion, not only in terms of basketball.
It was, you know what's amazing? We have a sellout today.
Yes.
On Sunday, we will also have a sellout. But
What
the
about
people,
Thursday?
The people watching today are different from the people who will watch on Sunday.
That's a great point. That's the UAP for you.
And we're not even talking about Thursday.
Wherein we'll have FEU and UST and the big matchup between UE and LaSalle. But let's not get ahead of ourselves right now. 4:33, 57-51. The first personal foul called on the former Sunbetter Red Cub. Play for Elad will go back to the line for free throw. So yes, a different kind of crowd. And you can expect UST, UP, and FEU with a bigger percentage during the cheer dance competition.
Well, UST has won it the last 4 years. So going for number 5.
After UP dominated for the 3 years. FEU came in strong last year.
Second place last
second
year.
place.
This has been the most aggressive game I've seen with Brian Elad as far as the offense is concerned. 10 points already in the game.
2 out of 4.
Elad.
2 out of 4 from the free throw line. Chris Tiu finds Zion Latel. Escueta gives it up to Salamat. Salamat finds a crease. Sends it out to Otto, who has struggled from the perimeter. And Ateneo trying to track down that loose ball. It's still loose. And it ends up with Chris Tiu with a fresh shot clock and a foul. As Later, and who's down there?
Later and Brian Elad.
And referees doing an incredible job separating these players.
We would need sooner or later maybe 5 or 6 officials here in this game.
And the thing here is the bench. Remember the bench. Yes. Nobody can leave the bench. 4-11.
So far, the coach is doing a good job in controlling the bench. Here's that last loose ball struggle here. Latel and Elad.
Oh, Elad hanging on to Zion. Zion didn't like it. It's always very personal. You talk about pride, talk about everything else, but remember, this is also the battle for number 2 position. Let's not get forget about that.
We will see here double unsportsmanlike fouls on Zion Later and Brian Elad. So that means another one of that nature will toss these 2 players out.
But what, in terms of penalty, does that cancel each other out, Mark?
Yes. So
okay.
No free throws will be given here.
It's a closer look.
Now since Chris Tiu.
And then there's the hook by Elad, the kick by Zion.
Slight kick by Zion.
That slow-mo brought to you by Smart, the power to lead. Lull in play right now as you're watching us live on Studio 23. The replay again on Sky Cable Channel 61. Arabia CBN Sports, Booth Gonzalez, Mark Molina together with Vanalyn and Sharon Yu reporting for Ateneo and LaSalle respectively. We are honored to have you with us in the main event of your Sunday Showdown, a game that was originally scheduled September 2. Because of a couple of typhoons has been moved to this play date today. 15 on the 24. Chris Tiu commands the double team. That's a tough angle for Chris. Tries to get it back, but it ends with T.Y. Tang, who has 5 rebounds across his game. Tang, another 3 on the way. P.J. Walsham is rejected by Zion Later, and a save by Chris Tiu, which results in a foul by J.V. Casio. What a sequence for Ateneo.
And those are the things that Zion Latel brings to the table. Not a lot of offense from this guy, but what tremendous defensive energy being provided here by Zion Latel. Quick jump there from Latel. Yes. Nice save by Chris Tiu.
Third personal on J.V. Casio, who has been in the freezer today, Mark. Just hasn't been his day so far.
Could we see a repeat performance of that round 1 where Casio struggled the first 3 quarters?
And then all of a sudden exploded for 15 points in a superhuman effort to bring LaSalle back and force the overtime. But actually, they were ahead na nga. No? Si Ford Arrow yung nagpa-overtime.
That's right. But this guy has been the key player for Ateneo in today's ball game. Yuri Escueta.
2 free throws.
9 points already and 1 assist in the game for Yuri Escueta coming off the bench.
And he has the defensive assignment on T.Y. as we come up the 3:25 mark. Zion will have the job on Rico Maierhofer, which leads to a P.J. Walsham layup. And again, a little more distance between these 2 teams. 61-53. With all that has happened, Mark, LaSalle has been able to keep some breathing space between them and Ateneo.
That's true. Even with Ateneo shooting a high percentage here in the 3rd quarter, LaSalle has executed well enough to still hold on to this 8-point lead.
Third personal on P.J. Walsham. Rico will move out. Kishko comes back in. Free throws will be given to Ford Arrow. At the 3:04 mark. And as I mentioned earlier, a 68%, 67% shooter from that area with Ford Arrow. What we haven't seen is Ford Arrow running the break today.
Yes, and I'm sure LaSalle is well prepared for that. Their transition defense in today's ball game, quite excellent. Very few fast break opportunities for the Blue Eagles.
Ford Arrow, 10 points, the first Ateneo player in double figures, Mark. Medyo pahirapan ng puntos for Ateneo. It's LaSalle ball still. DLSU with 12 fast break points since we made that point. and Ateneo with only 3. A 12-3 discrepancy in transition points as we go into a Samsung timeout. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine. Back in a moment. Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum for more of the UAAP on Studio 23. Kishko able to draw the foul from Job Nekabakolam. In the meantime, time for us to send it over to Sharon Yu. Sharon?
Yes, Boom, it is time now for our Trix Expo Cleanser. More than your usual face of the game as we present Neil Oy, 20 years old, hailing from De La Salle University. New Trix Expo Cleanser, more than your usual male facial cleanser. Boom.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Where was the chick magnet line that we were waiting for Sharon to say? We trust in terms of her taste in men. 2:33 to play here in the third quarter. It is 61-54 with Kishko.
Coming off the timeout, Boom, Franz Pumalin going in the low post to Kishko because he is bigger than Zion Latel. So trying to take advantage of that matchup. LaSalle now playing 2-3 zone defense. Let's see how this will go.
10 on the 24 for Ateneo. It's Yuri putting it up and in! And Coach Norman Black asking for a foul. 4-game winning streak for both LaSalle and Ateneo coming into this ball game for those of you who just joined us.
What a game by Yuri Escueta. He's now the high point man for Ateneo with 11.
What another rejection by Latel. But LaSalle picking up the loose ball. Malabes thought about the 3. Cross closer, invites the contact, and gets the basket. No foul called, but good enough for 2 points. He just dismantled the Ateneo defense in that move. Salamat out to Chris Tiu from the same spot. Same result.
3 3-pointers in the game now for Chris Tiu.
12 points.
Coach Norman Black very upset with the transition defense here of Ateneo. That's the second time after a Chris Tiu 3-pointer. LaSalle quickly retaliating with a basket.
Excellent point. A minute to play. Yuri Escueta with possession of the spheroid. 10 on the 24. Joel Nekabakolam has PJ Walsham in front of him. He wants one-on-one. Gives it out to Salamat. 3 on the shot clock. Bang! He got it to go. And here comes Cholo once again. Well, this time, nothing for De La Salle. 65, 62, 40 seconds remaining. Chris Tiu loses it. Job tries, puts it up and in.
I never knew Job had that in his arsenal.
He got creative and put a little mustard on that hot dog.
Wow, and the lead is down to 1 point after LaSalle jumped into a 13-point lead. This is like a reverse of what happened in the first quarter.
And just setting up for the wind-up mark, Simon Atkins misses for 3. 10 seconds on the clock. Enough time for Ateneo to probably snatch the lead. And they go back to Chris Tiu with 4 seconds. Yuri sending it out to Eric. Eric puts it up and no go. And after 3 quarters, Ateneo makes a run to stay within slipstream of De La Salle. And the third quarter ends. Enjoy sweet snackables, 35 pesos and below, with KFC's new Wow Sulit Snackables. Time now for our Accenture High performance of the quarter. But there Malabes dismissing the Ateneo defense. Nevertheless, though, it is an 11-4 run to end the third quarter, and LaSalle holding on to a slim 1-point lead. Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum, Job Nekabakolam just gave Ateneo another lead, another taste of the lead. After a long time, it is 66-65, and here's that play again, Mark.
Job Nekabakolam using his might here against Rico Maierhofer and JV Casio, giving Ateneo the lead for the first time here in the second half.
27-26 was the last time Ateneo tasted the lead, and LaSalle didn't want them a full bite just in case they got it back. 67-66.
Franz Pomarin smelling trouble. He sends T.Y. Tang back in, and T.Y. Tang quickly responding with a jumper.
How about that 26-point third quarter for Ateneo?
It's been an offensive game actually for both teams. Very high quality basketball game, high shooting percentage.
Walsham, the offensive rebound, a foul by Job. And again, reminding you that Ateneo is 5-0 if they score 75 or more. LaSalle 6-0 when they are 78 or more. As we look at our Silverworks outstanding alumnus, architect Robert Liles from Ateneo, grade school, high school. And he's an architect right now, obviously. Show your true colors with your own custom-made college ring from Silverworks to Silver. That works. DLSU gave up the lead for a few seconds. Now they're back in there in the driver's seat. 67-66 only promises to be a great wind-up for two evenly matched teams. Now, Mark, do you remember a time where Ateneo actually swept LaSalle in terms of the elimination round?
Well, I was checking the records today. That has happened only 3 times in the history of the UAAP since 1986. Ateneo actually won the first 4 times they met, twice in 86 and twice in 87.
Okay.
And then they won twice also in 2003.
Wow.
LaSalle swept first round and second round 8 times already.
8 times. Ateneo 3 times.
3 times.
As Cholo Villanueva turns the corner and executes the turnaround to perfection. 70-66, and he takes it back. Another turnover for Ateneo. And another bunch of turnover points. And Villanueva has been the man for DLSU. 18 cold-blooded points off the bench as we experience a Samsung timeout. With Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine. Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum for the resumption of this game between Ateneo and LaSalle. 13 turnovers for Ateneo in a game that has been characterized by runs. Back and forth we go.
Just when Ateneo took a 1-point lead, a quick 7-0 run here for LaSalle, restoring a 6-point advantage here for the Green Archers.
And the 7-0 run happened in the span of 60 seconds for De La Salle. 51 bench points to 35 of Ateneo.
And Coach Norman Black sending in his big guns, the guys who are playing well today, Chris Tiu and Yuri Escueta.
Cool and clean steal of the game by Cholo Villanueva, brought to you by C2. That was prior to the timeout taken by Ateneo. 14 points off the 13 turnovers for Ateneo, and this will just add to them if Rico makes it. Yuri Escueta, a career ball game for him. How about JB Casio on your screens?
Still scoreless.
The last time he did not score a single point was in season 67. The bench of Ateneo with the Muse in attendance here at the Araneta Coliseum. 7:05 to play. 73-66. A useless foul. JB Casio is just out of his element today.
Number 6, JB Casio, his 4th.
That's the 4th foul of Casio. So Coach Franz Pomarin coming in now with Padir Malabes, who has played well.
But it is not so glaring, the fact that he has been in the freezer because of the other guys who have stepped up in this game.
Because the 2 guys that practically play his position, Malabes and Villanueva, are having terrific games here for De La Salle.
Oh, nice move by Escueta, setting up forward, Otto underneath. Beautifully done.
This guy has made things happen here for Ateneo. 11 points and a couple of assists for Yuri Escueta. Career high already as far as points is concerned for Escueta.
Cholo in traffic draws another foul. That is a foul on a big man. Nonoy Baclao. His 4th personal foul. Here's another guy who has been able to get his rhythm. In the meantime, our KFC assist delivery of the quarter brought to you by KFC. Dial 887-8888. Back to live action. Fresh shot clock for De La Salle. Walsham against Ateneo. Walsham attacking, nowhere to go. He fades away. That's a tough angle.
That's good defense on the part of Fort Ateneo, holding his ground against Walsham.
They go back to the basement for De La Salle, for Ateneo rather, and finally Fort Ateneo gets that one to go. He's been trying all throughout the game.
PJ Walsham needs to respect the outside shot of Fort Ateneo a little bit more. That was too easy for Fort.
73-70. La Salle forces this one. Walsham turns the ball over. Yuri sets up Salamat, but Villanueva breaks up the play. Back and forth we go. Villanueva. Maierhofer is fouled on the dunk attempt.
Maierhofer going over the top of Fort Ateneo.
Again, it was Villanueva breaking up the play. We've seen that many times and issuing the assist.
That was looking like 2 points here for Ateneo, but Villanueva with a C2 pull and clean steal of the game. Couple of steals here in the fourth quarter by Cholo.
Brought to us by C2. 5:47 to play. 73-70. And free throws by Rico Maierhofer to up his output to 19 points, 7 rebounds. And Rico Maierhofer. And he makes 2. And that's more breathing room. 5 points, but DLSU is not out of the woods, especially with the way this game has been played.
It's been a game of spurts, and La Salle now with a 2-2-1 press. This time, Fort Ateneo gets fouled by Rico.
Let's go to Van Lim quickly for this report.
Defense, defense, defense. Coach just can't stress it enough. With La Salle making most of its points inside, Coach asks his bigs, where are you? Work on your position. Stay low and keep your head in the game. Move that basketball, communicate, help each other, and we'll chip away La Salle just a little bit at a time.
Really, that's the key. You can't really bring yourselves back in a flurry. You have to chip away on this 5-point lead. And you have to keep your head in the game, as they say. 7 out of 9 free throws. Make that 8 out of 10 for Fort Ateneo, Mark.
And he has made his points from the free throw line for Ateneo. He struggled a bit from the field, but he still has his usual numbers because of that high percentage from the line.
And now we have upped the attendance to more than 15,000, almost 200. And again, those are paying patrons. You can safely say about 16,000, as people have already settled down here at the Big Dome. And why not? 5:15 to play. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Short on the 3 for T.Y. Tang. It is only a 3-point lead as we reach the halfway point of the 4th and final quarter. Ateneo against a triple team. Eric Salamat takes it back. Chris Tiu thought about it. Back to Yuri. They swing it over to Salamat. And he gets it to go! And our second deadlock of the ball game.
Again, a great decision on the part of Yuri Escueta. Extra pass to the open man. Salamat, 75 all.
Oh my, what a game. Let's send it down to Sharon Yu for this report from DLSU.
The whole team entered the huddle with Coach Grant telling them to relax. He then asked some of the big men where's the walk. Then he told the team to read their opponents well and react. Offensively, they were advised to check the shooters from the Eagles side while EY, Cholo, and Rico were discussing how they'll work together to stop the Eagles. Coach ended by demanding intensity from his team, their best and nothing less.
Thank you very much. Especially in a game like this where number 2, the spot for number 2 is much needed. The best game now in the 4:15 left here in the fourth quarter. 3-point shooting for Ateneo, 6 out of 9 in the second half. And this is what brought them back from the grave.
Coach Norman Black did not believe an illegal screen was called there on Zion Latel.
But there from 13, doesn't bite. Yuri doesn't have the numbers, but let's see what he's gonna do. The spin cycle move for Yuri Escueta. was having the best game of his life.
What a play by Yuri Escueta. Reminds me of his cousin also Casio.
Do we really have to say that? We have a Samsung timeout with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. Yuri Escueta in this ball game, 13 points and getting creative on offense. Back in a moment. Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum, where we are jam-packed. And the score, 77-75, with 3:45 to play in this fourth and final quarter, rather. And JV Casio still struggling at 0 out of 11 from the field and is still scoreless. A foul is called on an Ateneo.
Foul we called in Escueta, but that was a well-run play by Coach Franz Pomare, freeing up Casio, but still nothing from JV.
Right now for a cannon power shot, power play of the game, we captured Joel Nakamakala, creating space for himself for that shot. Back to live action. Rico Maierhofer, 2 chances to tie the ball game. This is just looking like that first round matchup. And over 15,000 people experiencing round number 2 of Ateneo Salle live on Studio 23 from the Big Dome.
2 teams, boom, that are just so evenly matched.
And you can see it.
Everyone would love to see these 2 teams play 3 games maybe in the Final Four.
Well, you know, that will also depend on a few other things.
Yes.
Like maybe LaSalle beating UE on Thursday. Chris Tiu maneuvering. A tough shot by Chris Tiu, and he knocks it down. Chris Tiu with 14 points, his first here in the fourth quarter. Wow, that looked like a very athletic move, something that Chris Tiu doesn't usually execute.
That was a big-time play. Answered by a big-time play here from T.Y. Tang, his third three-pointer, tying the game up again.
For the third time, T.Y. Tang is 3 out of 6 from beyond the arc. 2:50 to play. Nail-biting action between 2 bitter rivals. Chris Tiu once again answers the call. The 2 best friends duking it out right now.
Amazing body control by Chris Tiu that time, and the concentration to make that shot despite the contact.
2:30 to play. T.Y. Tang still with possession. Finds Rico. Rico puts it up and in. And a 3-point play opportunity.
What a ball game. This is the way basketball should be. The big guns, the big stars coming up with big plays at the biggest moments.
You gotta love it. 2 teams executing to a T. As we have a slow-mo brought to us by Smart, the power to lead. Rico Maierhofer, we are running out of space for his points now at 23 and 8. And a crucial free throw to break the 4th deadlock of this ball game. This is what the UAAP is all about. And this is what Ateneo LaSalle has always been about.
This is why we have a full house today. People came to see 2 great teams play a splendid basketball.
Hammering each other out until submission. And who will submit, that we'll find out in 2:23 to play. Pass going to Eric Salamat. Salamat has not slowed down. The foul called on T.Y. Tang. A packed house on a Sunday showdown, the main event. For the battle for the right to be number 2. Again, Mark, quickly for those who just tuned in, the implications of the game.
If LaSalle wins, they lock up number 2. That's a guaranteed.
Yes.
If Ateneo wins, they will tie LaSalle for the number 2 slot. With both teams still having 1 game remaining. LaSalle with UE and Ateneo with ADMU. As we look at Rico Maierhofer, Raps in fourth arrow gives the lead back to Ateneo.
Without Rico Maierhofer there, we'll get a quick, hopefully we can get, well actually, we already know that it is cramps for Rico Maierhofer as we have the last 2 minutes brought to us by PS Back. Casio from the elbow, still no go. 0 of 11 for JV Casio.
have never seen JV Casio struggle in a game the way he is doing right now.
Yep. But they're almost taking it away. It will still be Ateneo possession with 19 on the shot clock.
Shot clock, 14 seconds.
83-82. Edge of your seat. And if you look at the crowd behind us or in front of us, nobody's sitting down anymore. And why not? Brian Elan challenging Ford. The cut by Zion turns her table. And a traveling infraction called on Zion Later. $16 turnovers for Ateneo.
Well, they controlled their turnovers after committing 11 in the first half. So Ateneo with a great job in taking care of the ball here in the second half.
That's our Jack and Jill fantastic moment with Jack and Jill. Life is fun. Back to live action. 0 out of 11 for JV Casio. And a foul is called on Yuri Escueta. And that will only mean free throws for JV. Chance to put some points on the board, and probably, you know, you and I know, Mark, for players who are struggling, the free throw line can be your best friend.
That's true. This could give JV a chance to get his rhythm in this game. But more importantly, give LaSalle a 1-point lead with a minute and 19 left in this game.
Nike Spotlight baller of the game, Madir Malaves. And Casio connects, and he won't be scoreless.
Malaves coming off the bench, scoring 11 points. It has taken away the minutes from James Mga, so we have not seen totally since the beginning of the ball.
Exactly, great point. He was a forgotten player already, and I'm sure he doesn't mind. But they're coming on today. JV, 2 out of 2, and that might be a danger sign down the stretch now that he has gotten his stroke from the free throw line. A slimmest of margins, 84-83. And a minute and 13 remaining in this ball game. This will boil down to execution. Yuri puts it up and in! Yuri Escueta continues to smoke from the outside. 16 career-high points. JV, oh, what a move by JV Casio. Beautifully done.
Plus a foul. What a ball game.
JV Casio, we told you after those 2 free throws, it just can change the complexion of the game. First, the wonderful shot by Yuri Escueta from beyond the arc.
Well executed, nice pass by Eric Salamat to Escueta, but on the other end, I don't care, 0 out of 12, you throw away the stats when it comes to JV Casio in the final 2 minutes of a ball game.
You've heard it so many times, and it has become a cliche. But really, it's all about will, it's all about heart. And the mental aspect of the game is now kicking into 5th gear.
And of course, the confidence of Coach Franz Pomare on JV Casio.
And all of a sudden, the guy's got 5 points.
Defensive substitution here by Coach Franz Pomare. Simon Atkins will check in for JV Casio, but Norman Black will call a timeout first.
In a pendulum swinging ball game, we all need to breathe. A Samsung timeout with Samsung. It's not that hard to imagine. Back here at the Ateneo Coliseum for the final 50 seconds of Ateneo LaSalle Part 2. And LaSalle holding on to a 1-point lead and a turnover, the 17th of the ball game for the guys in white with Nonay Baclao coming in fresh and cold.
And once again, it was Eric Salamat, but this time Salamat opting to give to Baclao.
Villanueva against Yuri. Villanueva gives it up. And Ateneo cannot contain that possession, but it's 6 seconds left on the shot clock of De La Salle, with LaSalle holding on to a 1-point lead. And another classic on Studio 23 right now, who we would like to thank, by the way, for the additional airtime.
Coach Franz Pomare will call a timeout here with 6 seconds left on his shot clock.
A Samsung timeout with Samsung, it's not that hard to imagine. Two teams bringing out the best of each other. And a defensive gem by Zion Later on JV Casio as we return play Escueta sends it out to Chris Tiu. Gets it to go!
No more timeouts here for LaSalle.
No more timeouts for DLSU. 17 seconds left. And this will boil down to a last shot, 89-87. Ateneo is ahead. JB turns around, puts it up, no go. Maierhofer,
And he
will
makes
that
it.
count?
It
Will
will.
it
I
count?
think it will count. It looks good, but of course the referees will have to review this play.
If it doesn't count, Chris Tiu again with a three-point shot, just like in round one, Mark.
And again, it was Yuri Escueta again making it happen with that nice assist pass to Chris Tiu. He's that last play.
JB with a tough turnaround. Rico getting possession. The clock. Let's slowly look at that. Oh, this is
Very
going to be
close.
tough.
Very close.
It looks like it didn't count. It looks like it doesn't count.
And Ateneo.
We'll have to look at that again and hear it from the officials one more. They want to look at it one more time.
Just to be certain.
One more time.
Just to be certain, but it looks like Ateneo
Let's look at this one
has
more
won
time.
this game. Here's Rico Maierhofer.
Goes up.
And the ball is still in the hands of Rico Maierhofer.
Is it? Oh man, that's so tough to see. That's so tough to see. What is the decision? No, wait, hang on.
Basket does not count. Officials, it's now official. The referees call
Okay.
it. It does not count.
It is an Ateneo win. And would you believe it, Mark? Ateneo, a 2-0 season, regular season, or elimination.
Only the
over LaSalle.
fourth time it has happened in the history of the UAP. Ateneo sweeps LaSalle in both rounds, and Ateneo, more importantly, will tie the De La Salle Green Archers now for second place, and they're formally in the Final Four.
And they will be a playoff then. Is that what's going to happen?
There will be a if LaSalle beats UE and Ateneo beats NU, we will have a playoff for second place. It doesn't matter, or if they lose both of their last games, we will still have a playoff for second place.
For
Of
number
course,
2.
LaSalle with a harder opponent,
Yes.
since they will be playing the unbeaten UE Red Warriors
That's
on
right.
Thursday. Ateneo has NU on Saturday.
89 and 87, the career game for Yuri Escueta. Time now for our Sony HD Best Player of the Game. Player played in high definition all throughout. That's why he chose him. A career-defining ball game for this Ateneo Blue Eagle.
What a ball game from Yuri Escueta. 16 points, 5 out of 5 from the field. 3 3-pointers, 4 assists. He was the man in the first half. In the second half, offensively, defensively, he did the assists. And I give a lot of props to Olsen Vasela, who said that Yuri Escueta could
going to be the difference today.
maker in today's ball game.
5 out of 5 from the field. And he's hearing it from the side of blue, the crowd here at the Araneta. Our Gatorade turning point of the game. Down by 1. Yuri Escueta finding Chris Tiu, who at that point, 3 out of 4 from beyond area code, make that 4 out of 5. And again, for the second straight time, Chris Tiu buries LaSalle with a crucial 3-point shot.
That was the easiest look he had all game long, thanks to that pass by Yuri Escueta, but big shot once again for Chris Tiu.
19 points, 4 out of 5 from beyond the arc. Our PS Bank Maasahan player is
Ford Arao, solid game for Ford Arao. The only inside threat of Ateneo the entire game, but 18.7 rebounds and 2 assists in the game for big man Ford Arao, who made it difficult also for Rico Maierhofer in the second half.
JV Casio, Rico Maierhofer, obviously dejected, but what an effort by them and the rest of the De La Salle University, who have entertained the more than 15,000 strong people at the Araneta Coliseum and the millions watching on Studio 23 and around the world through TFC and AMC Global. And speaking of the Araneta Coliseum, we come back here for another big doubleheader on Thursday. A crucial match between UST and FEU And then the last game for the UE Red Warriors to see if they will sweep the 70th season of the UAAP in our second game against now a wounded Green Archer team. That's the first game on your screens, or our Thursday showcase. And of course, the big matchup between UE and LaSalle in our second game. Also at the Araneta Coliseum on Sunday, September 16, 3 p.m. We come back for the Samsung UAP cheer dance competition. We have run out of superlatives for this game, but Ateneo is 2-0 in the elimination round of the 70th season of the UAP over LaSalle. For Van Lim, Sharon Yu, Mark Molina, Derek Alneri, I'm Boom Gonzalez. This has been another ABS-CBN Sports presentation. Studio 23 covers live the UAAP, and we'll see you back right here on Thursday. Have a great Sunday evening.